It's operational use. Go around the front so that you can see it in the front. It's up there in the front as well. There's no excuse for harassment, abuse, or anything. Short story, company I was working with that I created and founded, A Bad One Group, LLC. I founded the group, created the group, and the investor was supposed to invest $250,000 to $500,000 so we can do veteran construction and veteran housing. So he accommodated and got us a truck. His cousin was the one that introduced me to him. His cousin was just trying to be on for the ride. It turned out his cousin wanted to be in control of everything and use my skills, my expertise, my licenses, my certifications, and control how I'm compensated or accommodated. So in the beginning, he agreed to invest. We made a business accounts. So I increased everyone's credit. I got everybody's credit. I got business credit for the company. I got everybody credit up. Told everybody how to do the business, taught them, consulted through the whole process. Every time I said I need to get paid, they asked what I need. At the time, they was paying my hotel. I was paying my own hotel stay. I said, I'm not gonna keep building this company, going after $1 million contracts, and I gotta pay for my own housing, and I'm doing everything. So they accommodated my housing and food. They have a business credit card. They didn't want to give me a card, so they gave me the card numbers to the owner, the CEO, because I was the owner as well. I'm owner as well. The CEO. He said, whatever I need, just use the card. The card max out, call him, let him know. His cousin, Dwayne, said coordinate everything through him, because it's his cousin. They kind of slow or whatever. They don't know what they doing, so it's easier for him to talk to him because he get on the thing slow. He kept calling all of them slow, talk about them, whatever, but I'm not getting into that. It's for my safety. So we was looking at housing. I'm like, all this is the cost. We put the SBA together. I put the SBA together, got us the SBA certification. I did all the paperwork, did all the funding packages, told the SBA was gonna have startup funding, how the operation was gonna be met, etc. For us to be certified, Dwayne, his wife, and Arnold's daughter had to relinquish their ownership so we can get the certification. Because my expertise and Arnold's job qualified us for the certification. They all signed, agreed. I went on a couple of site visits out of town, went to Maryland, company paid for it. I went to Iowa, company paid for it. Dwayne drove, he volunteered to drive instead of me flying. Arnold paid for every accommodation I needed until I wanted to get compensated. He gave a check for $3,000 in the beginning, and then he stopped. He gave another check for $25,000, then he stopped. And I said, I need to get paid. They kept saying, use the card. I said, I need to get paid so I can get my own housing so we don't have no issues. So we agreed to put the house in the business name. So since Dwayne and his wife can't file taxes, they didn't want to be a part of the business name. And a situation with Dwayne, he had a friend of his, he wanted to do the loan, and the loan was higher than anyone else's rates were for that loan. But the loan guy said he could change it, but since Dwayne had a deal with him and wanted more money under the table for getting the property with his cousin's money, the deal went shot. So I provided a loan officer that I used from the VA before, and that's how we got the property. We agreed to add our names to the property, and since it's a business, and I said I need to be compensated, and I've been stated in the beginning before we started, and while we started, I need to be compensated, and we all signed documents. We all signed agreements of how the company's gonna be ran. We told the SBA how the company's gonna be ran. so that we can qualify for job contract opportunities. Dwayne was using my name and company name to take money from clients and made them disgruntled. It was a project I had to get finished, coordinating with the owner, and Dwayne told him to send him the Cash App, send him all the money Cash App. He feel like he can use my license and certifications at his will just because his cousin, the investor, was supposed to invest, but instead of investing, he accommodated, and they feel a way about me wanting to get compensated. SBA funded, SBA packages, startup business packages cost from $25,000 to $100,000. To be a CEO, to be a COO and a CFO and have business plans, strategies, coordinate, do walkthroughs for properties, assess business opportunities, do bid reviews, review blueprints, drawings, are a service and a charge. For commercial estimates, it's a $15,000 charge for estimates for commercial. So I put a negotiation and a buyout agreement. They can buy me out my percentages and compensate me for what I've done. Since you have a problem with funding the company, because without funding the company, we can't get these contract opportunities through the government. They wanted to try to cheat the government and hope we get a contract without having a financial structure to show the government. I asked for a QuickBooks account so we all can see the finances and what's going on. I said, I can't be it don't make sense for me to be the CFO and COO and I can't see the financials and I have no budget to work with and I'm not being compensated. Dwayne's worried about my other company and what else I'm doing because he wants to manipulate and control and do sad jobs without my knowledge but try to use my license. In the system, they update you when someone uses your license. I had an address that was told to me before by Dwayne, coming to my email address, that I didn't authorize for my license. So when I let him know, if anyone's using my license unauthorized, they're gonna do an investigation. He, in return, he stole money from a job. He also stole money or whatever he did, because it's still an investigation, or whatever he did. I didn't add him as a Facebook friend. He doesn't even have a profile for his picture. He felt away. I helped this man and his wife when I was homeless. Helped them while I was struggling. I helped him while I had no vehicle. He tried to take advantage of me because of what I'm going on personally, what I got going on personally outside of business. He tried to play on my emotions by acting as a pastor. He even got upset with me because I didn't get on his church calls or video chats, and it just be me, him, and his wife. I'm always a truthful, factual person. Everything's in black and white. We all have agreements we sign, and they're trying to go around the agreement, force me homeless to work for them for free and get them money and assess properties, do estimates, run a whole business while they sit back, collect, and feel like they're doing me a favor by not compensating me, but trying to accommodate me to things I need to live and think I'm supposed to run a business like that. I have other opportunities that I could have assessed before in dealings with them. And I let them know we need a deposit so we can do work with the SBA or any government work or any work, period. Or to even get loans or lines of credit. They didn't want to do that. For some odd reason, I said we have to show a payroll. We have to show a financial structure to acquire these things, to get the bonding capacity. They didn't want to do that. I said the only way we can get a contract or any government contract, we have to show a financial structure, how we're paying our people, and the construction that we do. Only with us to get a loan or lines of credit is if we have a payroll and purchases to show what we do, a financial structure. I've been saying this from day one. We had meetings, signed off on it, agreements signed off on it. We sent it to the SBA, signed off on it. To qualify to get the certification, that was in the writing that we were going to have this amount of money for this amount of money, because it's a cap, it's a range of contract range where we're at in the pool. So we're in a pool of $1 million contracts. We can't qualify if we don't have a bonding capacity. Arnold was complaining about every expense to acquire the bid. We got to pay for a performance bond. We got to put money in the accounts. We got to keep money in accounts. We got to have a payroll. We got to pay people. When we first got the truck, Arnold wanted to get 2-3 trucks. Dwayne said, no, we get one. Because Arnold wanted me to come to Indianapolis and set up out there. Dwayne wanted to keep control and see how much money Arnold had and was pocket watching and was like, he gonna keep the truck. Really, he wanted to keep the truck. He ended up keeping the truck. It's his truck. So he can pick me up for each job site or anything I needed, or if I need to go look for a job on my own, he wanted to be the one to give me a ride. Then if I get the job done or whatever I do with the job, he asks for some money, or he watching to see if I put some money in my pocket. Now, people try to come as your friend or a business partner, they're really competition waiting to betray you. Throughout all our conversations, they felt the way about my age or me having the knowledge that I have because of my age. That's age discrimination. Me and him had this talk when we went to Iowa. My age has nothing to do with none of these conversations. Your personal feelings or people's personal discretions have nothing to do with this business. If y'all don't understand, I sent booklets to break down the business. I sent videos to break down how we got to do this for months on end, weeks, days, and months. Oh, you feel like ain't nobody slow. You think this is a pissing contest. How is it a pissing contest? I'm the licensed individual. I had the certification. I have the experience. I've been on new construction. I've been on commercial construction. I've been on industrial projects. I was the prime. I'm not just talking in a fly-by-night trying to get contracts. I'm actually a sales rep, acting as a sales rep, trying to act like a contractor. There's been plenty of jobs. That's how we met. Me getting jobs done, or me providing a license to get the job done. And you was acting as a sales rep. But you give people an opportunity and they try to find an excuse to abuse or walk over you because they feel entitled, and they're trying to make an excuse to justify betraying you. Trying to justify betraying you. The man been having a conversation with every client the last year I've been dealing with him consistently. Every client we bumped into, he had a conversation with. And some of them was just his client that I had to mediate to resolve the deal. Now the man tried to harass me. I don't know how, but I had court today. He knew I had court today and popped up with the police. Or he might not even know I had court today. But popped up with the police again to try to incriminate me. Now they didn't lie about saying fraudulent charges on the card or threatened me of embezzlement. What is that? What are we talking about? What did I take? You know what I'm saying? What is y'all talking about? You're trying to allege things so you don't compensate me for building a business. I built the website. I maintain the website. I maintain the business. They don't know nothing about the business. Dwayne's wife owes Joe Esselman's money for rent for her business. Me and Joe Esselman did great business in the past. No issue. But he used my name to try to make it seem like, oh yeah, we finna make some money, so he gonna pay Joe Esselman. I can only imagine what he done told him, because all the lies he done told me, and told his own cousin, and told me how he gonna tell his cousin. He didn't cross his own friend. He known for 30 years because his cousin had some money And his friend was trying to just make a deal. He was just trying to make a deal. But he didn't want it to look like he was being slick, and he was, so he threw his own friend under the bus. I'll take accountability for trying to help people that don't have good hearts. Trying to help people that are wicked. In our agreements, it says mediation, good faith communication before any law enforcement or civil dispute. They violated the agreements again. They violate every agreement you're supposed to do in a business, they violate it. They want to be able to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. To me, they can't do this. This is their first business. They ain't do this to nobody else. They can't. Ain't nobody else going to do it. You got to pay them. So that's what's going on. This is for my safety and my protection to let everybody know what's going on. A Bad One Group out of Group LLC out of Indianapolis. I started it. I founded it. All my ideas. Now they want to try to force me to be, I guess, homeless and not pay me, and think because they haven't paid me, I can't afford or get something in court order for them to pay me. So this is how people try to abuse people that are more intelligent, more business savvy, because they try to abuse their leverage, and it's a cult thing. The man then told me his cousin fucking goats. Bro, what's that got to do with the business? His daughter really his stepdaughter. What does that got to do with the business? He a Shriner. Yeah, he's a Mason. He's a Shriner. We got to work with the devil to get what we need. What are you talking about? You actually steal from people. You lie to people. But your title, you call yourself a pastor with no congregation. You feel like you above people, or you and your wife feel like y'all above people, and your wife was cool, in a sense. But that's your wife. She gonna take your side, which she should. But as an adult, people know right from wrong. You didn't tell me you didn't try to. You finna fight your wife, choke your wife, hit your wife, all type of shit, to try to make an excuse to come where I'm at to see how I'm living, or be in my personal space. You want to know who I'm dealing with, or asking me why I'm not married, or why don't I get married? Like, what the fuck does that got to do with business? That's not even no small talk with men. Who cares? But because you married, you feel like everybody got to be like you. You even said your assistant pastor kid was going to die. What type of faith is that? And you got the nerve to try to make a narrative and try to force me homeless after I done built the company and y'all withholding my compensation? Just pay the 100 G's. Or we can settle. But this create narratives, lying and say you're a pastor, try to get people and use racial barriers and age discrimination. Bro, it's in black and white. I have all the paperwork. I sent the paperwork. They got the paperwork. People got the paperwork. We can consult and mediate this like adults and business, and that's it. But everything else, we ain't got to do. This is unnecessary. It's manipulation. It's control. I'm not nobody's slave. You done try to threaten people with your guns, all type of shit. You done pull guns out in front of me like that's supposed to make me hesitate. I grew up militant. I'm used to seeing guns. That's why I don't need them. I know how to fight. I don't need guns. Ask my mama. Ask my family. They know I don't need guns. But you do. Because you be getting over on people. So this is for my safety. And this is a reflection of what's been going on. So instead of settling and compensating the COO and the CFO of A Bad One Group LLC, you try to extort him, blackmail him, incriminate him, and not pay him.